On this week's episode, how would you feel if your judge was texting in court? I can think of a couple worse ways to die than getting smashed in a garbage truck, but not that many. Are you planning any trips out of the country? Well, get ready. The airlines are going to weigh you now. A porn star that is advocating for Palestine takes a vacation to Iran. Doesn't really make much sense to me. The FCC has now banned AI cold calls. Get ready for that one. Post Malone's song Sunflower goes double diamond. We talk about Donald Glover and his many accolades. And then, of course, do you know how many dialects of Spanish there are? Because I'm not exactly sure I do. Find out that and more on this week's episode of West of Nowhere.
I ain't scared of you motherfuckers. I'm on it.
Hey, freak show! You're going nowhere!
We'll do it live! Fuck it!
Welcome back, kids and coaches, to another episode of West of Nowhere. I am Levi.
And I was going to say some famous white blind dude, but there aren't any famous white blind dudes. You know what I mean? I was going to be like, I'm a famous white blind dude, but there aren't any.
I can't think of any blind white guys.
That's what I'm saying. Not any famous ones.
No, I don't think they've ever existed, actually. Helen Keller, no, she's not a dude.
Yeah. I can't say I'm Helen Keller because then that's offensive.
And then, apparently, depending on your understanding of the internet, she might not even be real.
Wait,
so.
Excuse me?
Yeah, there's a section of the internet that has decided that Helen Keller is not real.
Have
you not seen that?
I have never seen that, but also, people question the craziest things.
Yeah.
Helen Keller isn't real. Like, that's what you woke up today and chose the hill to die on?
Right? Yeah. That's what I'm saying. When I did the Helen Keller episode of The Remedial Scholar, I fell down a rabbit hole of people going, nah, that bitch is fake. So yeah, I could share more about that, but let's, before we get too far along, let's get our Patreon people out there.
All right, we'd like to thank Adam Pacino, Mark Stadler, Kylie Gangwish, Colby Jordan, Chantel Stadler, Kevin Garahan, Andres Vaez, Lord Reverend Professor Rusty J. Lugnuts, and Colton Zamersla.
Heck yeah. If you want to be one of those guys and gals, well,
here we go
you can go to the Patreon, which is in the link of the link tree, which is in the description wherever you're consuming this, or you can just Google linktree/WOKPOD, and it'll take you to all the things. One of the other things you can go to if you're listening is the YouTube, in which you can leave comments based on what we talk about, and I will read them at the beginning of every episode, like I'm about to do now, actually. So stop rushing me. Starting it off with T-Ferg again. He says, my wife is a cyborg. She has a VNS machine in her chest to regulate recovery from a seizure. And then she has an RNS machine. Dude, she is half robot for sure. As well as two probes going in. I'm going to say probably probes.
Yeah, probes.
Going in from the machine, which is about the size of an old 25-cent pack of gum, into her brain where the seizures originate from. Jesus, she's just hooked up. The machine itself is attached to the outside of her skull under the skin. The probes go through a small opening the doctors made into the brain. The machine can sense incoming seizures caused by her epilepsy and will send a shock to cancel out the seizure. Okay. Well, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
At first, I was imagining like this whole thing, but it sounds like it's just like an attachment, right? Like I was picturing like I don't know, some sort of whole section of that house dedicated to these machines.
Oh, see, when I read that, I was like, oh, dude, she had like a $6 million man like montage. They're like, we can fix her.
Yeah.
You know, and then they opened her up and like ran everything inside and sewed her back up. And so she looks normal. Not that she doesn't, T-Ferg, sorry.
Yeah, Jesus.
Come on. You were... I don't want to fucking hear. Yeah.
Yeah, you say $6 million man, and with, medical prices the way they are, probably cost that much, too.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah, I can't imagine any of that was cheap. T-Ferg also continued because he shared that traumatizing internet story last week. Says, good news is the memory of the images I talked about last week is so faded I'm not able to re-traumatize me. Well, that's good. Hopefully I don't drive anyone away from your show because of the discussion. No, they've heard worse, I feel like.
Yeah.
Or they're just used to it at this point.
Plus, I mean, we don't really have like a huge following. There's like tens of you guys.
Yeah,
I think
there's dozens.
If we were in the thousands, maybe someone would get offended, but I feel like if you watch this show...
how everybody just knows us.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you watch this show at all, you know our personalities pretty well. That I wouldn't waste time watching the show if you were offended by that.
Yeah. Yeah. Spoiler alert, if you didn't like that, you're not going to like most of it. So, Kylie, sharing her weird family dynamic. My grandpa's sister married my grandma's brother.
See, that makes more sense than my...
Yeah, but that's two different, chains.
Well, no.
I think she's just trying to, like, because she was like, it's super easy to get a double cousin. Like, she'd done it all the time.
Yeah.
But I think she's trying to clarify, and I don't feel like that's that. It seems too separate for me to be like, ugh.
Well, it didn't clarify because last week it was two grandmas that got together and had a kid.
Oh yeah.
Oh and that was
yeah,
because
she missed that. Yeah. Okay. Well, that makes more sense, but now it's less impressive now. So, way to go, you played yourself. She continues, John Oliver had a whole episode dedicated to Mr. WWE owner. I'm assuming she just couldn't spell McMahon, or maybe she didn't want to say his name.
Okay.
I don't know. But Vince McMahon is who she's talking about. He is, in fact, an absolute bag is what she has written. I don't know. I'm assuming...
Absolute sleazebag.
Absolute D-bag. Oh.
Or sleazebag?
Yeah, maybe. If it's talk to text, she does that a lot. And I agree that he deserves everything and then some because he's a hot pile of garbage and treats those wrestlers like the stain on the bottom of his shoes. Yeah. I think everybody's kind of growing to that consensus now, so that's good. His public reputation is slowly combining with his private reputation.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then she says, dude, Arnold's newest State Farm commercials are hilarious. I have not seen any of these. She told me to look it up, and then I didn't, and now I'm a bad friend. But I did watch the one you talked about.
You dude.
Yeah. Dude, there's just a lot going on in that commercial, and you didn't tell me that Lieutenant Dingle from Reno 911 was in it. And that...
Yeah, well, no one's ever accused me of being overly descriptive.
That's fair. So anyway, haven't seen the Arnold one yet, but yeah. She also talked about the Grammys. She said, dude, Miley Cyrus crushed her Grammy performance, as always.
Dude, can we talk about her big-ass hair for a second, though?
Yeah.
It was... Dude, I was like, what is going on right now?
Dude, she's just standing out from the crowd.
Okay.
We're still talking about it a week later, you know? Yeah, effective. Kylie says, Jay-Z is a pile of shit. All right. Of all her albums, I wish Lemonade would have gotten the Grammy just to spite Jay-Z. And then she puts it in parentheses. Lemonade is the album she wrote dissing him and going off on him about his affair.
Yeah. Yeah, last week whenever you were like, I can't name a single album by her, I was like, in my head, I was like, Lemonade is the only album I can name by her.
Yeah, and that one didn't even come to my brain like while I was trying to think about it. But then I was also having that moment, you know, when you're trying to think of something and then you can't think of anything related to what you were doing. Yeah. It's like stage fright for your brain. But, which I guess is still technically stage fright. But anyway. Kylie says that she also loves seeing how supportive Travis and Taylor are of each other and how apparent it is that they are so in love. Like RG3 said, how can you look at love like that and be mad about it? It's a very good question. Apparently it's super easy. If you just go through Facebook, you'll find a couple people ready to go. Like, oh, this is just bullshit. I just don't understand it, but yeah. Then she asked if I'd seen that commercial yet, which, spoiler alert, I did. Just talked about it. I didn't read far ahead enough to link those together, but anyway. She says also religious freedom with like 7 or 8 exclamation points. This country does not have a religion. F you if you're trying to, it's censored in her thing, so I'm reading it as such. If you F you if you try and shove your religion into politics. Yeah. That's about the satanic display getting destroyed at the Iowa Capitol.
Okay.
Yeah. At first I was like, wait a minute, what is going on? And then she left a rose, which I think is the Bachelor reference that I dropped last week.
Okay.
Yeah. And Pantera Girl has some comments. She said, the brain chip thing made me think about Cartman getting shocked every time he curses. And, God, yeah. That was that in the movie? I can't remember.
Dude, I haven't watched South Park in a very long time.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's the movie, but it's been so long since I watched that. But yeah, he'd like cuss and then it'd zap him. And maybe that's the future Elon might want. Who knows? She says the shiny ones are Mylar balloons.
Wait.
Well, that wasn't even listed in that list of balloons we talked about that I looked at. Well, for the Hey, Am I the Asshole last week?
Oh, yeah. Huh.
Yeah, because they had like metal something. I don't know. She also says, Colton got a birthday shout out. Happy birthday, fellow Aqua. But I think the last comment I made last week asking for one for my birthday, February 7th, got missed.
Ooh.
That or you guys are just being big meanies. No, it definitely got missed. Here's the problem. Is that all of your other comments were made shortly before we actually started recording. And then you made that other one like a few hours after we had finished. And I was like, oh. So anyway, happy belated birthday,
Yeah.
Pantera Girl.
Yeah, we'll get the shirtless pics of Levi in the mail for you. Don't worry.
Oh, man. Perfect. Well, I'm just going to skip this one and jump to this one because it's connected. She said, oh my gosh, I'm all beguiled.
Yeah.
Ugh, can't say that word. I'm all beguiled by Levi's magically powerful, sick podcasting skills now. SMH. LMFAO. Way to blow it out of proportion, you guys. Here's the problem. Is that I understand the effect I have on women.
Yes.
Okay? I didn't ask for this, you know. It was just a blessing and a curse, really.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's not my fault. I'm really, 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 really ridiculously good looking. Okay.
Yeah. Men want him. Women want to be him. You know.
Exactly. Yeah. Everywhere I go, driving women mad, and I just can't help it. I'm sorry, but and it's not fair to you that you got caught by the charm, you know. And I'm just gonna do my best going forward. But
I'm just glad that someone finally came out and said the truth, which is, you know, for the longest time there was a rumor, you know, among all of our listeners that I was the more attractive one, you know. But now
I feel like you spread that rumor.
But now the truth has come out because now we have a listener who's openly in love with Levi. So we appreciate you.
We have one confirmed one.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And I mean, technically, if we count Natalie, we're tied.
Yeah, there we go. See? Boom.
He's like, I'm back in it.
The rumor's still alive.
Yeah. And our Wales wants to know what your next random thing is that you're going to do to see who notices first. And do we get anything if we notice? Why would we tell you? What kind of game you playing, R Whales? What do you think this is? Where's Waldo? I don't think so, dude. Anyway, so that's it for the Facebook comments. You ready to get in some weird news?
Let's get in there, dude.
I found a fun story that, and I wanted to put it at the beginning because I wanted Kylie to pay attention to it because she is legally adjacent. She works near legal people.
Okay.
And I feel like this is a story that she would like to comment on. An Oklahoma judge sent more than 500 texts during a murder trial resigns. And you might ask yourself, well, what, like, specifically when during the trial? She's at the bench listening to arguments, and there's pictures of her using her cell phone. Just texting and tweeting away, just... That's so crazy, because there's, like, a camera above. Actually, I have the... Here. This is the shot. she's just hanging out right there, clear as day, phone out, below the desk, I'm assuming, like high school style, right? And then you got the defendant in the orange jumpsuit to the right.
Yeah.
So, yeah, apparently you're not supposed to do that. And here's the worst part. What kind of trial do you think this is? Like, what for? What would you guess?
If she's on her phone, traffic stop, maybe shoplifting.
Pretty close. The trial is in the killing of a 2-year-old boy.
That's not even close at all.
Yeah,
You
no, I
son
know.
of a bitch.
Pretty close. So, yeah, I just don't understand. And there was like, so some of the things that she like could, because they could see what she's sending.
Yeah.
And they were like, hey, man, we got all of this. She's like making fun of the prosecutors.
Oh my
sending,
God.
Like, she's like texting people, putting emojis in, like laughing during like arguments and shit. Yeah.
Dude, you know what it is? She's in a group chat with all the other judges.
judges?
Yeah, and she's like, you should hear these morons right now.
I feel like that's got to be a code violation, right? It must be because she resigned, but
Yeah.
like, I just also feel like maybe you should probably be paying attention to this. This trial in particular seems like it's requires a lot of attention. But unless it was like open and shut, like they're like they came in right after the act had been done and they're like, oh, okay, yeah, you obviously did this, but for some reason they're like, no, it wasn't me. And so now there has to be a whole trial about it. I don't know.
Well, maybe the defendant is a fucking nutcase, you know, and
Maybe,
they're
yeah.
like, I don't care what you have, okay? I'm not on camera saying this is my name and I just ran over this kid, all right? I didn't do that.
Yeah.
That's not me. So they're like, well, I mean, everyone has to have a fair trial, so now we're going to do the whole dog and pony show.
We got to do the whole thing, yeah. So this is an excerpt from the article that I'm reading. It says the judge's text during the trial on a charge of killing his girlfriend's 2-year-old son included saying the prosecutor was sweating through his coat. Why can't I talk today? According to the petition, and then the text described the defense attorney as awesome and asked, can I clap for her during the defense attorney's opening arguments?
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So also, doesn't seem like she's being impartial at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyway, Kylie, please let us know your expert opinion on this story. In other weird news, a woman who was tossing trash out falls into a dumpster and then also gets put into a garbage truck.
Holy shit.
Which then compacts the garbage, and she survived all of that.
That's impressive.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, because aren't the presses in the garbage trucks, aren't those hydraulic presses?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
I'm either assuming that it was a very full load and it didn't like compress everything, because it doesn't really say.
Yeah.
But yeah, so she fell into the dumpster while throwing out her garbage, and then and then the garbage truck had compacted the contents while she was inside of it, and then the neighbors had heard her screaming.
Oh shit, dude.
Yeah. And also, the trash truck had a camera that that could see the inside the back, I guess, probably for this exact reason.
Yeah.
And the driver stopped after seeing the woman, and then called 911, and then the fire department had to help her get out.
Whoa,
But
dude.
yeah, she got out, and she was pretty dazed. She could not really answer any questions, but she was able to walk around and stuff. So,
Dude, this is straight up it's a Star Wars moment where you're stuck in that room and the walls are just coming.
Yeah.
And she's just like, well, this
Yeah.
is it, dude. I'm fucking done. She's
Yeah.
probably screaming
Game
bloody
over.
murder.
yeah, I can't imagine the
Absolute
The only
terror.
thing I can think that might have saved her is if she might have hit her head when she came, so maybe she wasn't even completely aware of the dread that was about to befall her. But hopefully, she made it, so she's good. She's probably be a little wobbly for the next few weeks, but
Dude, terrified
Yeah.
of trash cans for the rest of her life.
Yeah. Yeah. It reminds me also, I can never remember this show or movie when it comes to my brain.
Yeah.
But there is some kind of thing where a kid gets stuck in like a display coffee mug on like the roof of a coffee shop or something. And
That's not ringing any bells for me.
yeah, I want to say it was like a TV show, but let me Google it. Kid stuck in giant coffee cup. Oh, see, it's a Google search. Leave it to Beaver.
Wow.
Yeah. It's the 1997 movie. Anyway.
Huh.
I always think about that, and like he's like on the roof of this coffee shop and he's stuck in this like display coffee mug.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude. So that's like a random fear that I have, but I feel like this is super disconnected now that I'm talking about it. But
Dude, you're just like sitting.
maybe that.
You're just sitting at your therapist's office, and you're like, the therapist is like, "What fear do you have?" I have a fear of being stuck.
You ever seen Leave It to Beaver movie?
Then she pulls out her phone, and she's like, I have to take this. And she texts her group chat. She's like, "This kid is fucking weird."
She's texting that judge.
Yeah.
Nice. So I picked this article because I feel like it's smart. An airline is going to start. European air carrier FinnAir is going to start weighing passengers at the gate. Yeah.
I mean,
smart, right?
to be fair, they weigh us on deployment and shit.
Yeah.
They weigh you with your personal stuff.
Yeah.
But are they going to charge you by weight now instead of by bags?
That's a good question.
Because that's a whole nother. That's like some weeds right there.
Yeah. I don't see anything in the article that says that they might charge more, but maybe. I'm assuming that it's just a specific like thing for the flight. Like weight is so particular.
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know?
Weight balance. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. And I like that it's at the gate instead of like at the first, the book or the check-in.
Dude, it should 100% be there because you drop your bag. They're like, all right, cool,
Yeah.
we got that. All right, now you get on. Like, excuse me?
Yeah. Yeah. But this, in my head, I'm like, okay, so you're going to get all the way to the gate and then find out you're too fat to fly. And then, and then they're like, sorry, dude. We already put your back on the thing.
Maybe,
You know what I mean?
maybe they have an algorithm once everyone's weights are in, and doesn't matter what seat you picked, the algorithm tells you where you're going to sit in the jet
Oh, to make
the
it
most balanced.
Yeah. I mean, it is FinnAir. Those fins, they're pretty, I don't know, they're very particular about their technology, so maybe. That would be pretty cool. I don't know, because, like, I see stories all the time about, like, you see people getting mad that, oh, I had to buy an extra seat, or, that whole thing.
Yeah.
Which, to be fair, if you are taking up a lot of the next seat over, you should probably just have to pay for that one. Like, I don't think that's an unreasonable ask because, bro, you're like suffocating a person next to you potentially.
Yeah.
Like, why not just So in this case, I don't, and like I said, I don't know if they're going to be charging or anything but it seems from the article that I'm reading that it is specifically for the safe operation for the flights is what the quote says about it. So I don't know. But yeah. So there's that. But it's like one airline. So I don't know if everybody's going to catch on and start doing this or what, but
Who knows, man? Yeah, that's crazy.
yeah. You remember a few weeks ago when I just out of the blue asked you if you could think of any porn stars off the top of your head?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I have another porn star related story. She's not dead though, so it's less depressing. But do you know who Whitney Wright is?
No.
Okay. Well, then let me
I'm the
find
worst
this
person.
Google tab.
I am the worst person to. Oh, hello.
So this is her in both pictures, but yeah, I don't know. Anyway, so she went to Iran, which is interesting. It's an interesting move because I don't know if you've been paying attention to anything Iran related, but they've been on a real tear about women's rights specifically and oppressing them.
Oh, yeah.
So to have a woman who goes, her regular job is to just get blasted on the internet.
Right. Yeah.
In the fun way.
Respectfully. Yeah.
Respectfully, biblically. And to go to this place, I think it's just a wild thing to comprehend.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like that's a safety risk possibly, but so she just went just to go. She's got a lot of like, I don't know. She's very into the tweeting about the Israel-Palestine conflict thing going on.
Yeah.
So she's like socially conscious about these things.
Yeah.
And she goes there and she's wearing the full coverings as the law there requires. She's not doing anything. She's not doing a gangbang in the middle of the town square or anything. So, but people are like mad about her for going. They're like, you visited there, so obviously you support this government and like shit like that. And I'm like, okay, but does that mean just people living there do too? Like, even if they're living in, like, you know what I mean? Like, how are you gonna put that like on her? We're just visiting. Like, oh, you went there, and so that means you're totally about everything they went. And all she did was like she went to a museum and shit. Like, it's not like she was shaking hands with their president. I don't know who it is now, but
I mean, it is weird that you would go for no reason.
Iran's a weird vacation.
Yeah, that is an
I'll say
odd
that.
spot to go whenever you're not like. I can understand if she had like went, to like maybe raise awareness in her own way on her own platform about women's rights needing to be a thing there. But if she just went on vacation there, that is odd. And doesn't really look good for you whenever you're this like woke tweeter.
Right? Yeah. It seems very weird, especially being, I don't know, like where she is like constantly talking about, or not constantly, but she has been outspoken about her support of Palestine against Israel, right?
Oh.
And then like you're going to Iran, which is not the same. Like,
yeah.
It's not the same even a little bit. Like, Israel, specifically Jerusalem, is a major tourist spot for people of all ethnic diversities, right? Iran, not so much. Like, they're a little less open. Obviously, you can travel there. It's not like North Korea or anything like that. Like, they can come here, that you can go there. It's not a big deal, but it is weird, I think. And on her trip, she went to the former U.S. embassy that was there, which there was like in the 70s. There's a big hostage crisis there while the Islamic regime took over Iran. Like, there's a whole revolution in the 70s, and there was people who were like, it was like a year-long deal with this embassy, and like she went there and like took a picture with the lowered American flag, and I don't know, it seems like a weird thing to do. Maybe just because she could go, I don't know.
What if she was on the internet one night
agent?
And she got hired into ISIS?
Dude, that would be wild.
Just saying, like,
yeah,
as a propaganda tool. Even though ISIS is against everything she does in her like professional life, as a propaganda tool, hiring a porn star to a terrorist movement doesn't sound crazy.
Not a bad move.
Like who watches her more than anybody? Lonely single dudes who have no direction. And if she's just like, yo, blasting herself, and then she goes, real quick, let me just do an ad, join ISIS, you know what I mean? Like, it's a brotherhood.
So, brother, you'll belong.
Yeah,
finally.
you'll belong. Dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what's crazy is that the U.S. did that.
Wait, what?
Like, yeah. So in the early years of the war on terror, and I'm sure probably throughout the whole thing, there was certain stars with like their own websites that the government found to be frequented traffic from various IP addresses belonging to some known terrorist organizations.
There we go.
And so they would like have them customly curate content for like wear camo, like ride a fake missile, have a fake gun, like do this stuff, because they found that increased this viewership
No way.
from these areas.
Okay.
Yeah, and supposedly they even use that to triangulate some of them for some bombing missions. Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
That's wild. Dude,
Yeah.
hey, dude, I should... Look, I am a commodity that's not being... I'm an untapped commodity that's not being used, all right?
Yeah. Yeah, he's coming up with ideas that people have already done.
I'm
Yeah.
a peacock. You gotta let me fly.
Oh, man. So, yeah, I don't really know what her goal was, but we got some ideas for her. Whitney, if you need help, just text us. So we've been talking about AI and robot stuff pretty frequently lately.
Yeah.
The FCC, which is the Federal Communications Commission, has declared that AI-generated voices in robocalls are now illegal. So if you get like... Robocalls are essentially the new version of telemarketing, right? And now they're saying you can't use AI voice cloning technology, like anything that produces a sound that is to be sounding human.
Yeah.
Cannot use it. So,
But just for, like, telemarketing calls, right? Because, like, if you think about it, anytime you call, like, an appointment line or something like that, you get, like, a voice that says, press this for this.
Yeah, that's
whatever,
like
whatever.
yeah, but that's like an intermediary server. That's not like the people calling.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You know
So
what I mean?
only if it's, like,
Yeah.
cold calls.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, so I feel like this is a good move. In this article that I found, it says the FCC's actions follow an incident ahead of New Hampshire's presidential primary last month, in which a phony robocall impersonating President Biden encouraged voters not to cast ballots in the contest. So I can understand why people, or why this would be a thing. You know, I didn't even think about that. But
Yeah, not at all.
it was like estimated 5 to 25,000 of the calls were made. Which, I mean, I don't know how big New Hampshire's population is, but still, that's crazy.
Yeah, it is.
And also, looking at the comment section in some Facebook posts of like, I don't know if you see these, but I see them a lot, and I see them more that I start laugh reacting to them, because Facebook's like, oh, you like this stuff, here you go, here's more, and I'm like, no, I actually don't, but I'm going to keep laughing at it just because I want people to see that laugh react and go, oh, what's going on here, because it's, what it is usually an image of a person next to some craft of some type.
Yeah.
And it's impeccable craftsmanship. It's the best thing I've ever seen ever. Well, it's all fake. It's all AI. And I know this because the person will have 3 legs, or the thing won't match what it's on. Like, there's one of a guy that carved Jesus out of a tree, and the tree, you can tell the trunk is X wide, right?
Okay.
And then the carving is like way bigger than what the tree is. And it's like, first of all, that's not possible. Like, you can't do that. Second of all, where's this guy's hand? Why can't you show his hands? Oh, is it because he has 14 fingers like all the other AI pictures? Weird. And or it'll be like a little kid and a painting of a dog, and it's like, well, okay, that's a great painting if it was real, but like the dog doesn't actually have a nose; it's just a blob, and it's like
That's called abstract.
kids-
Okay.
yeah, and the kid's not real either. So the most abstract art is to make it from a fake person, obviously. So in the comment sections of these, there's always a bunch of old folks. Amen. Yeah. Hallelujah. That's, oh my God, that kid's so talented XYZ. And I found out that it's because people, like, scammers are finding people who comment on them because they're easily duped.
Yeah.
And then they'll message them, or they'll have a link for them to click on. And then they probably will click on it and message them and probably send them money because people do that. And so those same kind of people are the same people that will fall for the President Biden phone call. Like, you know what I mean? So, anyway. So there's that.
Yeah.
And then real quick, 2 big announcements.
Okay.
One, King Charles recently has been diagnosed with cancer.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. So, real quick, like he's just barely got in. Now he's got cancer. So we'll be following that. And then another cancer adjacent story. Toby Keith died at 62. He had stomach cancer. So he actually died like right after the announcements were like right after we recorded last week. I was like, oh, well, all right. So kind of late news, but yeah. Ending on a happy note. So anyway, that's all I got for this week.
What is it? Oh, here it is. I did have something, but it's just like super quick.
Yeah.
You know that song in Sunflower on the Into the Spider-Verse movie?
Yeah, the Post Malone one.
Yeah, it's the first ever double diamond single.
Jesus.
Which I'm not sure.
I don't even know what diamond is. Is that 10 million?
It says it's equal to. Wait, the RAIA says 1 unit. Oh, that means that the release has gone 20 times platinum, or in other words, it's moved 20 million units. 1 unit is equal to 150 on-demand audio or video streams.
Yeah.
Yeah. The next closest behind Sunflower is Journey's Don't Stop Believing at 18 times platinum.
Wow. What an iconic banger. Yeah. So it is. A diamond is 10 million then. Because 20 million.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
20 times platinum, 20 million.
Platinum's $1 million. What's gold? 100,000? 500,000?
It doesn't say.
God damn it. That's all right. not super pertinent, I suppose, but yeah, that's crazy. I mean, and the weird part is that I know I can think of the song, but I can't I couldn't I know I've heard it and I kind of know what it sounds like, but I couldn't repeat any of the lines from it.
I would say that my son has easily given 200
at least
plays, at least one full at least 1 unit and another a little bit of the next unit of downloads and streams, just because when that movie first came out, Emmett was all about that movie and he loved Sunflower. He loved that song.
Yeah, that's from the first Spider-Verse movie.
Into this.
Okay, nice. Well, heck yeah, way to go, Posty.
Let's see. Real quick, if you have Amazon Prime, you should check out Mr. and Mrs. Smith with Donald Glover.
Oh,
amazing!
I didn't know that was out yet.
It's out. The whole season's out. It's super good. Also, Donald Glover confirmed that they are working on the Community movie.
Oh hell yeah! 6 seasons in a movie.
So
let's go.
That's gonna be dope too. I just love Donald Glover. Yeah, dude. I think he's just so fucking awesome.
He's insanely talented, and I hate it, but it's fine. It's got everything, you know. Maybe one day.
And if you've made it this far, now is the time to hit that follow button on wherever you're listening. Hit that like button wherever you're listening at. Drop a comment wherever you're listening. If you're on YouTube, like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, and leave a comment there because Levi's, velvety voice will read it at the beginning of every episode to make you fall in love, just like Pantera Girl.
Yep, that's my plan.
And these got to come off. I can't read the story with those on.
You've been listening this whole time. He's been wearing sunglasses, except for when he wanted to look at something on the screen, and then now he's got to read, so he took his sunglasses off.
Oh, great. I got those stupid marks on my face.
Yeah.
From where the headset. Anyway. All right. Am I the asshole for leaving a dinner with my girlfriend's family because they kept speaking in a language I didn't understand?
Oh, hell yeah, dude.
I am from Galicia, a region in Spain that speaks a language that is very similar to Portuguese, and my girlfriend is from Barcelona,
Barcelona. Yeah.
which is in Catalonia. She speaks, I didn't know that was a word, Catalan?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't know that was a language.
Okay. Is it like... I wonder if it's like an offshoot of Spanish, but like direct to that area. You know what I mean?
Kind of like how Chinese, they have Mandarin and the other one.
They like have different dialects compared to like different regions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We live in Madrid and study here in university. Everyone in Spain speaks Spanish except for foreigners, pretty much on a native level from education, media, and exposure. There is no such thing as a Spaniard who only speaks, it's got to be a dialect, because here he says Basque, Basque, or Catalonian, or whatever, unless they're 90 years old from some small village, and even then they would still know the basics of Castilian Spanish. Dude.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I know I'm going to get some comments about this. Okay, so here's the conflict. People from Catalonia are very often nationalistic and will sometimes refuse to speak Castilian. I'm in Valencia, and some bitch said, speak properly, speak Valencia.
Let's go, dude.
When I asked her for directions in Catalan Spanish, my girlfriend invited me over to her parents' house in Barcelona. They talked amongst themselves for a bit in Catalan. I understood they like maybe half or 2/3 of it. They greeted me in Catalan, and I say in Castellan, I don't speak Catalan. I'm from Galicia. They say something in Catalan to each other, which I think was negative. We eat dinner. Her sisters and their husbands are there, and they're discussing things in Castellan. And they would often say things to each other in Catalan, which I thought was rude, but I let it go. They kept switching to Catalan during our conversation, and I politely reminded them like 5 times I don't speak Catalan. They would go back to speaking Castellan, but then switch back to Catalan again. I go outside to take a breath of fresh air. Girlfriend joins me, and I ask her, what the fuck is her family's problem? Why do they keep excluding me from the conversation? And she says they hate speaking Castellan. I told her that's bullshit. I heard her dad speaking Castellan to someone in Peru during his Zoom meeting. He took a 30-minute Zoom call while I was there, and the mom was preparing food. Not once did he switch to Catalan. We joined back, and they start asking me my opinion about things. I respond, and I ask them questions, and they just responded in Catalan and respond to each other's responses in Catalan. And I just had enough. I said, I'm leaving now. The food was good, but I can't stand the rudeness. I told you many times I don't speak Catalan. I don't feel welcome, so I'm going. Goodbye. And the father says, how fucking rude. We prepared such a good meal for you, and you're leaving it unfinished. We spent hours on this. They made an entire goose and like 5 side dishes. I said, I fucking told you I don't speak Catalan. Why should I be here when you can't even respect me enough to speak in a common language? I never spoke to you in Galician. God damn.
Yeah.
Portuguese, English, or Romanian. Fuck you, assholes. I grabbed my stuff and left. 15 missed calls from my girlfriend last night. Stayed at a friend's parents' home nearby. Haven't talked in a day. I don't know what to do. Am I the asshole?
So while you were reading, I found a Reddit thread about the difference between Spanish, Castilian Spanish, and Catalonian Spanish. And in the comments, they're talking about Castilian and then also Catalan, which is different from Catalonian.
God.
So Catalan is a mixture of a few different things. It's Latin-based, but also kind of, they say it sounds like a mix of French, Spanish, and Portuguese.
Oh, wow.
So it's completely different from Spanish. And Catalonian Spanish is Spanish.
Yeah.
Like it's just a flavor of Spanish.
What about...
So they are completely speaking outside of this person's like realm of understanding.
Yeah. What is Valencian Spanish on there?
Valencian? No. They talk about Galician though. Like that one that they said about.
Because up here when that lady yelled at him when he was like
Valencia?
Yeah, he's like, I was in Valencia and some bitch said, speak Valencian. A dialect of Catalonian.
Yeah, so...
Catalan.
It is its own language, too. Like, it's... yeah, so Valencian language is the official, historical, and traditional name used in Valencian community of Spain to refer to Roman language as a Romance language, also known as Catalan. Oh, so it is Catalan. Catalan and Valencian are apparently very similar.
Okay.
So that's wild. Fucking Spain,
Dude,
dude.
yeah. That's
all sorts of stuff.
I have never heard anyone talk about how there are that many offshoots of Spanish. And then just an amalgamation of 3 different languages for another language.
Right.
Huh.
So, I guess, I don't know. I kind of feel like the family was kind of being specifically, like
they were excluding him 100%.
They were 100% excluding him, yeah. Like, he tried to bridge the gap and was like, all right, we all speak this. And they were at first, and then they would, like, kind of, I don't know, spin into Catalan.
Yeah.
And
well, you don't speak another language in front of somebody unless you don't want them to hear what you're saying.
Exactly.
And if you don't want them to hear what you're saying, then you're probably saying something offensive, or calling into question their intelligence or something.
Yeah, like you're very particularly like excluding them for a reason. Yeah. And it reminds me of those videos where, I don't know if you've seen it, but there's this guy who can, like, he speaks like Mandarin and like all these different languages, and then he'll go into like a place and they'll say something in English, and then he'll start speaking in Mandarin, and they're like, whoa, whoa, what are you doing? Hey, that's not you. And catches them all off guard.
Yeah.
But they're usually, everybody's pretty hyped about it. They're like, oh shit, your Mandarin is real good. A little too good, actually. Who's your dad? No. So, I don't know. Yeah, I definitely feel like this guy, I mean, there's definitely different ways he could have reacted, I suppose, but I don't know. I feel like I would have been in the same boat. Like, I'm getting anxious. You guys are specifically trying to exclude me from conversations.
Yeah.
Fuck it, I'm out.
Yeah, like, maybe there was a better way to handle it, but also I think if I'd been in that situation, I'd have handled it the same way. I'd have gotten real angry. The fact that he, like, had the forethought to go outside and go, just chill for a second. Like, that's when I would have lost it. I wouldn't have, like, went back in the house and then. So I don't think he's wrong. I think he tried to get out of the situation to be like, you know what, just gonna push past it, and then he just had too much, so he left. So you're definitely not the asshole.
Yeah, I agree. What do the people say? Anything?
The judgment bot says 59% not the asshole.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair. What I like about Reddit, too, is there's probably a lot of people in the comment section of the original post where they probably understand that exact, like, thing. Like, you know, because it's such a wide community of people all over the world. So there's got to be people in the comments like, yeah, dude, fucking every time you go around Catalan or whatever, you know? It's like, wow, this experience is not unique to me. That's crazy. Yeah. No. Yeah.
All right. We'd like to thank our friends, the Creature Feature,
the Real Creature
Feature, the Macabre Emporium.
Yeah.
Let's go. No New Friends, Kicking with the Kellys, Roomity Room, Dutch in Denver. Yeah. Like and subscribe.
Yeah.
Do it.
Do all the things.
Subscribe or a kitten dies.
Jesus Christ. That's not happening on my watch. I just want to go on the record. That's it. I've had enough. Peace out, bitches.
Tip your bartender.